Feud this morning at 8 on Fox 14.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a Pittsburgh native is giving an opportunity of a lifetime to star in the new Mean Girls movie.
Plus, this week is Burn Prevention Week, so we'll show you some tips on how you can prevent burning yourself and others.
And we've got ourselves a very warm, very windy day today. We'll take a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner, just after 7 a.m. on this Thursday morning here in the 4 states. And it is Thursday, so that means we are that much closer to the Super Bowl.
That's true. And if it was Wednesday, we would be wearing pink. Because we have a local who made it big on the new Mean Girls movie.
That is true.
You can now watch a Pittsburgh native in the big screen. Will Jewett is one of the dancers in the new Mean Girls movie.
KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the story.
So I did get some are you kidding me? I didn't know you were in the Mean Girls movie. Or even I didn't know I'd be able to spot you so easily.
Will Jewett is being spotted by fellow Pittsburgh high school graduates, family, and friends on his appearance in the new Mean Girls movie. His proud mom, Janice, watched the movie 8 times already to make sure she's not missing a single second of Will in the big screen.
I would say by the 6th time I saw it, sounds funny, but I think I found him in every place that he's in the movies.
If you're a true fan of the 2004 Mean Girls like I am, I would say just not going in thinking you're going to see a replica of that nostalgic original Mean Girls.
This is the first time Will is in a film, but dance has always been there for him. Even though his mom is a dance instructor at PSU, Genesis says that has nothing to do with her.
As parents, we noticed that he had great rhythm early on, that he could carry a melody. He memorized lyrics after just hearing a song once.
Will says he wouldn't be there if he wasn't from where he comes from. How Pittsburgh was important for you through your career?
Important beyond what I can explain. The Pittsburgh High School theater program was and is still top notch.
And it was at home where he found even more support.
Support came so naturally. And then my dad took one step longer. He came to a dance competition. And when the word competition gets put into something, my dad, former track and field cross country coach at Pittsburgh State, was like, oh yeah, I can get behind a competition. They were interested in me enjoying myself, feeling fulfilled.
Will has far more talents than I could ever imagine. So I have learned more from him than he has learned from me. By a whole bunch.
In Pittsburgh, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Soon, Will Jewett will join a Broadway show. While he still can't share details, he said that he'll be on the road for a year.
As we mentioned, certainly an incredible opportunity of a
Huge.
Lifetime to be able to do that.
Right?
Somebody from right here in our own backyard.
Making it big on Broadway and the big screen. So
Absolutely.
That's very fetch. Good for you, Will.
You kids and your fancy words, I don't understand it anymore. One thing I do understand is the weather. That's why she always gives me a hard time. She's like, that's all you talk about. I'm like, 'cause that's all I know. It's the only thing I know is the weather. Let's take a look outside real quick. This is our camera on top of the Cornell complex in downtown Joplin. And we've got a few clouds out there as we get the day started. It's also very windy out there as well. You can see this camera occasionally shaking in the breeze. The MoDOT camera 20th and range line has been kind of doing this number back and forth all morning long. Folks getting their day underway. And of course, if you're driving a high profile vehicle or one susceptible to the wind, you're going to want to hold on to that wheel with both hands today. Red flag warnings for parts of Kansas, Missouri until 9 o'clock. So absolutely no outdoor burning in the red flag warning zones where fire danger is from very high to extreme. Wind advisories, this part of southeast Kansas until 5. Everyone else in tan until 6. We can see wind gusts today upwards of 40 to 45 miles an hour. But even if you're not under an advisory or a red flag warning, no outdoor burning recommended, period. It's going to be too dangerous. Temperatures this morning, about 30 degrees above average as we are into the 50s. We're going to soar into the upper 60s, near 70 today. Breezy southwest winds and clear skies. We have some rain chances on the way as we head into our Friday. We also have some snow chances, believe it or not, as we head into next week. We'll take a look at all that in the full forecast here in a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Authorities in Carthage say a worker at a food plant died Tuesday in an industrial accident. Around 3:45 Tuesday, police received reports of a worker entrapped in a machine at the Schreiber Foods plant on Claxton Avenue. When they arrived, they found the male worker unconscious and not responsive. They called for a med flight, but before it got there, they declared the worker dead. Authorities are now investigating the incident as an industrial accident. And the FBI is trying to identify victims of a cyber attack that occurred late last year. We told you that someone breached the computer files at Integris Health, which operates a hospital in Miami, Oklahoma. On Christmas Eve, many Integris patients received an email listing the specifics of their personal information. The sender asked for a $50 fee to not sell the data on the dark web. If you or someone you know received one of those emails, the FBI would like to hear from you. For more information, go to the FBI.gov and click on the Victim Services tab. The Missouri State Auditor yesterday announced plans to launch an audit on the city of Joplin. Scott Fitzpatrick says it comes at the request of residents who gathered more than 2,200 signatures. The city was last audited in 2015 and received an overall performance rating of poor. The new audit will officially begin on February 20th with an entrance meeting with county officials. And out with the old and in with the new, the city of Joplin is replacing the non-native Callery pear trees along Main Street as part of a beautification project. This project is funded by the citizen-approved Proposition Use Tax and the associated beautification initiative efforts. City officials predict the project will take 6 to 8 weeks. They want to plant lower maintenance and more environmentally friendly trees.
So we're replacing them with more appropriate size trees, which are smaller type trees, more appropriate for a downtown streetscape setting. So I know there's some Japanese pagoda trees, lilac trees for specifically downtown.
The city first planted Callery pear trees along Main Street in 2008. They're called a non-native tree because the species is originally from China and Vietnam. And there are nearly 400,000 people in the U.S. who go to the hospital for burn-related injuries. Most burn incidents actually involve a fire of some sort, but this is not always the case. Burns that happen in the kitchen usually stem from a person touching a hot object or liquid.
Whenever you have a burn, it really hurts. You're not feeling well, you don't eat or drink as well, and there's that zone that, there's some tissue that is dead. Once you get that burn, it's gone. But there's always this area where there's a lot of inflammation and things going on in this area, and that burn can always become much worse and deeper.
Thermal burns are the most common ones that you will encounter. This happens when you encounter fire or a hot object or liquid. Doctors say to run that burn under cool water for anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes. And most burn-related injuries are preventable. There are a few tips you should keep in mind. Use open flame properly and keeping children away. Test hot liquids and keeping them away from the edges of counters. Wear appropriate gear for sports like helmets, elbow, and knee protection. Wear clothing appropriate for the weather and take shelter when storms approach. You can find the full list of preventing burns on our website at koamnewsnow.com. Up next, Dustin Lunau from the Joplin Fire Department joins us in studio to talk about the dangers of burning outside during high winds. And later, there have been lots of talks of the Super Bowl this week, but we can't forget about the Puppy Bowl. More on that later. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Not coming out until Casey's has thin crust.
Second half off, only at Casey's.
Well, the winds moving across the area today and tomorrow have put some of the 4 states in a wind advisory. Dustin Lunau from the Joplin Fire Department is with us to share the dangers of brush fires during weather like this. Welcome, Dustin.
Welcome. Good morning. How are you?
Good. Okay, so we know right now, Chris has been talking about it all morning.
Yes, ma'am.
The wind is really bad, so no fires if you can prevent them outside, right?
Yeah, outside burning would be strictly not recommended right now, and banned in most places for the next couple of days. Okay,
and we were just talking about the humidity and how humidity plays a big role in this.
Very big part of it.
So it's at 22% today.
Yes.
Tell us what that means.
So 22% is the relative humidity, the percentage of moisture in the air. And the lower that number gets, when you get below 40, 35%, it creates environments in which just the lack of moisture in the air leads to explosive growth of grass fire. So we actually have, in our area, we'll have we have 2 grass fire seasons. We have winter, and then we have late summer when everything has dried up and died off. But right now everything's dormant, so there's no moisture in the foliage and there's no moisture in the brush. And when the humidity drops low and it's wind driven, it can lead to explosive fire growth.
Wow. Have you seen anything so far this season?
So far we've had, I believe Neosho and Carthage have had a couple of events. However, right now we haven't seen any large events in our area, in the Joplin area, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we won't have anything today or tomorrow. That's the goal, right?
And what is the protocol? I mean, say all of a sudden there's a field catches fire. I mean, how many fire trucks and men does it take, and like how much water you guys have to pump into that?
That's a great question, and it's really dependent on how thick the foliage is and how large the fields are. Our main priority is, of course, the structures, homes that could be threatened, things like that. We'll highly prioritize that over the grass. We'll work around that and make sure the structures are safe and taken care of before we get into actually working the grass itself.
Okay, say somebody has to do a fire, a controlled burn. What are some safety tips that you have for them?
Honestly, when you get down to 22% humidity, there are no safety tips.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Okay.
You cannot control it. It will move. And sadly enough, what we'll have this evening is that the winds will die off typically in the evenings. And they're like, oh, well, it's nice now. We can burn. The sun's gone down.
Oh, bonfire or something
absolutely.
With friends.
And then tomorrow morning, the winds are going to come up again. The humidity is going to drop, and it will pick up those embers that are buried in those fires, and it will spread it across the field, and it'll go off again.
That's an interesting point, because a lot of people are going to be barbecuing. It's Super Bowl weekend.
Absolutely.
So we have to be super.
Yeah, just be very careful with what you're doing. Be cognizant of what you're doing. If maybe you have a barbecue going, that's great. But make sure you're on a non-combustible surface, or have maybe a garden hose or a bucket of water around where you could easily mitigate that.
All right. Well, thank you as always for joining us, and stick around because we've got more news coming up right after this.
The SEK Humane Society hosts its 47th annual chili dinner Sunday, February.
It's either ridiculous or genius.
Next Level Chef, all new tonight on Fox.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:17 now on this Thursday morning, and it is a breezy and very mild start for us on this Thursday morning. Got some clouds out there this morning. Otherwise, we're going to start seeing more clear skies as we go through the day. As our camera on the Cornell Complex, MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline, again, still swaying in the breeze as well as the winds continue to increase across the area. We have red flag warnings for Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties, and then heading into southwest Missouri until 9 o'clock. So in the red flag warnings, the fire danger is from very high to extreme. Absolutely no outdoor burning, and we just heard from the Joplin Fire Department, from Dustin Lunau, about the dangers of burning. We also have wind advisories. This part of southeast Kansas through 5, everybody else in tan until 6. And even if you're not under an advisory or a red flag warning, winds across the entire region are going to be very strong today. So we really strongly encourage no outdoor burning, period, regardless of what situation you're in out there. Winds will be out of the southwest. They'll be gusting again upwards of 40 to 45 miles an hour as we go through today. We head into the evening. Those wind gusts continue into the 30-mile-an-hour range, and they'll start to, at least for a few of us, they'll ease up a bit tomorrow morning, but it won't take long before they pick right back up again out of the southwest, gusting around 30 miles an hour. Our camera 7th and Rangeline looking pretty good out there so far. 56 in Joplin. Part partly cloudy, south breeze at 20, gusting to 33. Temperatures this morning about 30 degrees above normal as we're all sitting into the 50s. We've got low to mid 50s. We've got mid to upper 50s. So very warm start for us, especially for February out there. We'll have a few clouds here and there, otherwise breezy, low 60s by 11 o'clock this morning, and that's ahead of highs today as we go into the upper 60s, pushing close to 70 degrees out there under sunny skies. So aside from the wind, an absolutely beautiful day across the area. Heading into the evening, clear skies through the evening and overnight, and again, it'll still be breezy, and our overnight lows hitting where our average highs should be, back into the mid 40s tonight. As we move on down the road, a stray shower or two will be possible tomorrow. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, breezy again, still very warm into the upper 60s. Then we cool back this weekend, back to normal Sunday and Monday, so that's going to feel cold compared to where we are now. Showers on Sunday could translate to some morning snow showers on Monday. Now, we're not expecting much from this in terms of accumulation, but it could lead to some slick spots. Regardless of what we see Monday morning, it will not last long as we go back into the 50s. Sunny skies Tuesday, Wednesday, staying above average through the end of next week with some additional shower chances next Friday and Saturday. That's a check of your forecast. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Quarterback gets ready. We are just getting warmed up.
Oh, wow. An all-new season of MasterChef Junior returns this March on Fox.
Well, it's almost time for the Super Bowl, and this also means it's just about time for the Puppy Bowl.
Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with more.
3, 2, 1. Let the Puppy Bowl commence.
All right, our own adorable, adoptable puppy pregame, we'll say.
Yeah.
Puppy Bowl pregame right here. Dan Shackner, thank you so much for being here as we get ready for the 20th Puppy Bowl.
I know, can you believe it? 20 years.
Let's talk about our special guest here, who we have playing in our game today. They're the Classic Hollywood group,
yes,
right?
This is a litter from Angel City Pits, and they are our ambassadors for Puppy Bowl this year, especially in the LA area. They're all named after classic Hollywood actors. We got Humphrey Bogart in there, Clark Gable, Betty Davis, Greta Garbo, and it looks like right now Clark Gable's about to score a touchdown!
And Puppy Bowl 20 is officially underway.
The Puppy Bowl has a 100% adoption rate,
oh, yeah.
right? But the purpose is also to bring attention to more shelters across the country and rescues like this.
Yes.
So how does the game work to do that?
Absolutely. Every year we grow bigger and bigger. For our 20th anniversary, we're the puppiest Puppy Bowl ever. We have puppy coaches. We have puppy cheerleaders. We have 73 shelters participating this year.
And behind the scenes, our talented puppy crew.
Every single rescue that we work with reports an uptick in adoptions, both during and after the Puppy Bowl. So we've had thousands and thousands of dogs adopted in the past 20 years. We're also proud of the fact that we showcase special needs dogs, dogs from all over the country with all different backstories. Older dogs as well.
Out on the field, Fluff's Athena Alexa take it out of the end zone.
Where can people go for more information on these rescues
Absolutely.
in particular?
You can go to angelcitypits.org.
And Puppy Bowl Tune In.
Tune in Sunday, February 11th, 2 p.m. Eastern on Animal Planet. We're on Discovery, we're on Max, we're on TBS, True TV.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
So cute.
Almost as exciting as the Super Bowl. For some, probably more exciting.
I'll be tuning in. I will be tuning in. That is awesome. Well, coming up, law enforcement offices across the county are short-staffed. Anthony Saviello shares how area departments are handling the issue.
And we've got ourselves another windy day across the area. We'll take a look at that forecast when we come back.
Law enforcement offices or officers? This is Scott with Windows for Less. Save glass easy breezy. Give us a call today to schedule your free in-home estimate. If you want the best for less, call Windows for Less.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. The time now is 7:27 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. Well, the Newton County Sheriff's Office and Carl Junction Police Department are two law enforcement agencies currently being affected by a nationwide law enforcement shortage. KOAM's Anthony Saviello spoke with both agencies about why this has become an issue in our area.
Every day we rely on our law enforcement officers to keep the peace, but agencies in our area are seeing a decline in officer employment.
Since 2018, we've had 36 employees leave. 4 retired, 9 either were fired or didn't complete their training. 17 got out of law enforcement completely. Only 6 have went to other agencies. We can't compete with the private market.
Newton County Sheriff Chris Jennings is one leader feeling the strain from the lack of employees.
Right, and unless you've been married to a first responder, you're not going to understand the fear.
Heather Jensen is the wife of a police officer in Carl Junction, where police retention is also an issue. The lack of police officers there only adds on to the fear that her husband may not come home.
There's nights that I cry myself to sleep because I am afraid my husband won't come home. And I understand to the outside looking in, it's just a small little country town. But there's a lot that goes on that the public doesn't know about. They just don't, and they're not going to know because they do a good job of keeping it quiet and keeping the citizens feeling safe. But if you don't have any officers to continue to make people feel safe, what's going to happen?
Where the FBI says that a town of our size needs 15, 16 to 20 officers, and we have 11. So not only have we not been able to give raises, we haven't even been able to keep pace with what the FBI says that we should have.
Unfortunately, solutions are less than ideal.
So we're looking at maybe cutting some services in order to give raises in the short term.
One thing that each agency understands and recognizes is that this is a big problem in our area, but it's also a big problem nationwide. Reporting in Newton County, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Garland said, quote, "We are committed to doing everything we can to support local police departments as they work to serve their communities, build public trust, and keep people safe," end quote. And Spire wants to warn its customers about scammers impersonating the energy provider. Scammers posing as Spire representatives have called customers requesting a bill payment. As a reminder, Spire would like customers to know it will never ask for payment through cash apps such as Venmo. If a customer receives a suspicious phone call, they should immediately hang up and contact Spire directly. And residents in Chanute, Kansas yesterday had a chance to learn about the new VA clinic opening in Iola. With the new clinic comes the closure of 3 others in Chanute, Garnett, and Fort Scott. Yesterday's meeting isn't the only one available. There will be one tomorrow in Iola from 5:30 to 7:30 at the North Community Center. Then on Friday, there will be one at Fort Scott Community College from 5:30 to 7:30. And Pitt State medical staff and students yesterday conducted a disaster simulation at the Irene Ransom Bradley School of Nursing. Medical personnel practiced what to do in a disaster situation like the Joplin tornado of 2011. One official says the real-world aspect of the simulation appealed to her as a nurse.
In the critical care field and the nursing field, you know, it's always been something I've been familiar with, and it's made me excited. It kind of pairs, you know, that excitement for really detail-oriented care with like the excitement of high stress situations, and combines that with the empathy I have for people and wanting to do, you know, help people, you know, things like that, you know, the natural drive of nurses.
The school plans to hold mock disasters 2 more days this semester. And students at Frank Layden Elementary in Frontenac, Kansas showed off their chief spirit. Yesterday's theme was Dreaming of a Win Wednesday. Students were encouraged to dress up in their pajamas or sweats. A teacher we spoke to says days like this are great for kids getting excited for school.
Such a fun day for the kids in our community. Any Spirit Day doesn't have to just be Chiefs Super Bowl week, which is really awesome to have. It's just awesome to dress up with the kids, and it keeps us teachers young and excited to be at school, and it hopefully that carries over to the kids too.
You can see how other area schools have been celebrating Chief Spirit Week on our website at koamnewsnow.com.
And we've got ourselves a windy day out there. Quick look at the MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line. It's been bobbing in the breeze all morning long as folks get their day underway. you take out the wind, it's going to be a beautiful day, but the wind making for some fire dangers. Red flag warnings for the counties in red until 9 o'clock tonight, so absolutely no outdoor burning in these areas where the fire danger is from very high to extreme. Wind advisories across the region as well. This portion until 5, the rest of us until 6 o'clock, as winds will be gusting upwards of 40 to 45 miles an hour. And even if you're not under an advisory or a red flag warning, really no outdoor burning across the region, as the winds will be gusty all day throughout the area. Temperatures right now into the 50s out there, so we're about 30 degrees above normal. Highs today, upper 60s, pushing near 70. Sunny skies as we head into the afternoon, and of course, very windy conditions. We'll have another look at your forecast, including the chances for some rain and maybe even some snow later on here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. The bipartisan border deal and foreign aid package just failed to pass a Senate vote after months of negotiations. Democrats say it's because Republicans are getting their marching orders from former President Donald Trump, who has attacked the bill and is too weak as he makes the border a central campaign issue in his race for the White House. Washington correspondent Juliana Benbook is live at the Capitol with the latest developments.
The motion is not agreed to.
A Senate vote on a major bipartisan border deal and foreign aid package failed Wednesday afternoon. Republicans demanded that border security be a part of the bill, but turned against it after facing pressure from former President Donald Trump.
My colleagues in the United States Senate have decided that they don't actually want this solution and don't want to secure the border.
Several GOP senators insist their opposition to the bill has nothing to do with Trump's public comments bashing it.
This just blew up in Leader McConnell's face, and now he's trying to blame President Trump, who, to the best of my knowledge, I haven't talked to him. I'm not sure anybody on the stage has talked to him. We wanted to secure the border. That is why we are voting no.
The $118 billion bill also includes aid to Ukraine and Israel, two U.S. allies at a time of war. It also funds humanitarian assistance for civilians in Gaza. On Tuesday, President Joe Biden weighed in on the deal debacle.
By opposing this bill, they're denying aid to the people who are really suffering and desperately need help. So Republicans have to decide, who do they serve? Donald Trump or the American people?
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A jewelry store in Kansas City is getting a lot of attention after Taylor Swift is spotted with one of their rings.
This is Pride.
Wow, what a game. Saturday at noon Eastern on Fox.
Well, if you don't have any plans for Saturday night, you should head on down to Downstream Casino to watch the Ben Miller Band perform. Josh Mullen is with us this morning to talk about what music lovers can expect from the Ben Miller Band and others. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so you guys are already gearing up. Got some concerts coming in. Tell us, what kind of music is Ben Miller?
It's very much bluegrass oriented. It's kind of Ozark Mountain music. It's very rural and kind of the music that this area is known for. So, you can expect, I think they call it Ozark Stomp.
All right.
Is the way they describe it.
I love that. Okay, and what is the venue like?
It's our Legends Sports Bar, so it's right in the casino on the floor, and very much right there where you can walk right in and see it, and big screen behind. So if they want to come in Sunday, the next day after the concert, they can see the big game.
Oh, perfect. All right. Now, he's just one of several bands that you guys have. Tell us, what else can we expect?
Well, on the 16th, Friday, we're having Extreme and Living Color come in, a big concert out in our pavilion. Tickets are available at downstreamcasino.com, and it should be a great show.
Okay, and where can they purchase tickets right there, or does it have to all be done online?
I think they can get tickets at the casino as well, but online obviously more convenient for them. So
I love that. Yeah. I mean, it's been a while. We want to get out there, and here he is right now. So this is kind of the vibe that he gives off.
Yeah, they have the washboard, and they've done some major tours, and
oh, that is fun.
Got the wash tub bass as well. It's very exciting, interesting music, and Ben's a great songwriter, so. I think people really enjoy seeing it.
And is he from around here?
Yes.
He is?
Local, yep.
Oh, we got to support local artists then. Great. And so what time does it start and how long does it go till?
Their set will be starting at 8 o'clock and it will go till about 9:30, and then we'll have another band, the Brothers Moore, that will come in after and finish out the night.
I love that. It's going to be a fun time at the casino this weekend.
It'll be great.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And we'll be right back with more news after this.
And said, "This is the day you die," and he shot me.
48 Hours, today at 9, right here on Fox 14.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:42 now on this Thursday morning. A live look from our camera at the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. We've had a few clouds out there from this direction. They have cleared out, looking better out there, but still very windy. MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin, as you can see, still kind of bobbing around in the breeze out there, and wind gusts will continue to increase across the area. We do have red flag warnings for the counties highlighted here until 9 o'clock, so in this area especially, absolutely no outdoor burning today. Fire danger here is from very high to extreme. Then we have wind advisories for this part of southeast Kansas until 5, everybody else in tan until 6, as those wind gusts are going to reach 40 to 45 miles an hour out of the southwest as we go through today. Even if you're, again, as we've mentioned, even if you're not under an advisory or a red flag warning, you absolutely should not do any outdoor burning, because as you can see on the gust tracker, it is going to stay breezy across virtually the entire area today. We head through the evening and overnight. The wind's still gusty out there, upwards of 30, 35 miles an hour. For some, they will ease up towards sunrise tomorrow, but it is a brief break before the winds pick up again out of the south and southwest, upwards of about 30 miles an hour for our Friday. Our camera 7th and range line looking pretty good this morning as well. 56 in Joplin, partly cloudy, south breeze at 20, gusting to 33. And we are across the region about 30 degrees warmer than where we should be for this time of year, as we've got temperatures in the low to mid 50s, even some upper 50s across the area this morning as well. And bear in mind, we should be in the 20s right now. Again, not that we're complaining, but still very, very mild out there. Low 60s by late morning, mostly clear skies and breezy conditions holding on for us out there. As we head into the afternoon, temperatures again well above average, upper 60s, near 70, sunny skies. So aside from the wind, an absolutely textbook May-like day out there, not like February at all. Overnight lows tonight where our highs should be, back to the mid 40s, clear skies, still breezy out there. And as we look down the road, boy, it is not going to change a lot aside from this weekend. Some stray showers possible tomorrow. It's going to be relatively isolated. Otherwise, again, mostly cloudy, breezy, warm, upper 60s. Then we cool back through the weekend. Not a bad Saturday, a little cooler. Showers Sunday, back to normal Sunday and Monday. And because of the overnight lows getting cold enough, we could see a few snow showers Monday morning. Now, we're not expecting really anything in terms of accumulation, but we could still see some slick spots. Regardless of what happens Monday, it does not last very long. We're back to sunny skies Tuesday and Wednesday and back to the 50s out there. And we'll stay in the upper 50s all the way through next Friday with some additional rain chances next Friday and Saturday. That's Check Your Forecast. Now we're sending it over to Caitlin with Consumer Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Well, officials in Ecuador think that they've pinpointed the source of lead poisoning in applesauce packets sold in the U.S. They believe that lead originated from a ground cinnamon processor called Carlos Aguilera, which is no longer in operation. It's unclear how the lead got into the cinnamon, but one FDA official believes it was an intentional act. Some suppliers try to bulk up food sold by weight by adding things like lead to it. The FDA has limited authority over foreign ingredient suppliers who don't ship directly to the U.S. So far, the CDC reports more than 400 children in the U.S. have elevated blood lead levels linked with the applesauce. And T-Mobile is giving its members new perks. The company is starting a Magenta Status program to provide more perks and benefits to its subscribers. The wireless company says the new discounts are in addition to its T-Mobile Tuesday offerings. The company says it is partnering with Hertz, Hilton, and Live Nation, along with its current partnerships with Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV, and MLB TV to offer new perks. And calling all of the brokenhearted, here's your chance to get a free menu item. P.F. Chang's is offering those going through a recent breakup a chance to get a 6 count of dumplings for free. Those who got dumped can text their breakup story or send a text screenshot to PF Chang's using a keyword, and they can receive their dumplings while dining in at a restaurant or for delivery. The deal runs all the way up to National Breakup Day, which is February 21st. And that's a wrap for our Consumer Watch this morning. Now let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Kansas Crossing Casino is more.
Today, your gateway to News Your Way. Powered by KOAM News Now.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are making some waves, not just in the NFL, but also for some businesses.
Mark Polos shares how a KC jewelry store is seeing a lot more sales.
Emily Bordner has had her shop EB & Company for 11 years. Now she's had her brick and mortar here in Brookside for almost the last 5. On Sunday, she was watching the Chiefs post-game celebrations when things took a turn.
All of a sudden I got a text message from my manager being like, Taylor Swift wore our ring. And I'm like, what is happening? This is not possible.
Emily Bordner could not believe what she saw on Taylor Swift's finger after the AFC Championship. The pop icon wore a Chiefs-themed ring with a number 87 on a red jersey that came from only one place in the world, her store in Brookside.
I haven't really slept since. My stomach's in knots. And we're like, oh my gosh, what do we do? What do we do? And then the sale started, and then they just haven't stopped since.
The store does not know the backstory on how Taylor got the ring, but they are working to find out more.
We have a theory that Donna gifted it to her.
Bordner says she saw an untapped market to pursue in the realm of sports jewelry, so she launched a Kansas City collection this year.
These are all custom made and hand beaded. We're really excited to introduce these. They've been a bestseller.
KC and the city's adopted music superstar are now wearing her creations.
So this is the first season that we actually had our custom pieces, and the idea that it actually got on Taylor Swift's finger is just bananas.
The ring has become so popular, it is completely sold out. The store has other Chiefs items in stock, but they won't have more of Taylor's ring until the first week of March.
My mom is asking for rings. I had to turn her down. That's what I keep telling people. They're like, do you have anywhere that you happen to find one? I'm like, no, dude. Like, if I can't give my mom one, I can't give you one.
If you would like to purchase one of the rings that Taylor wore, the shop says the best place to do that is online. They are available for pre-order, and they are just $14.
So cute. I want to get one.
Well, you can order online.
Yes, I can for $14.
$14 online.
Buy now.
Yeah, get it right now. Do it now. Those old the infomercials.
Yes,
buy
exactly.
it now. You have 60 seconds to buy at this great price.
Awesome. I'm so
Something
excited.
to keep you occupied at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know. All right. Something else that's going to keep us occupied is the weather, as it's going to be quite breezy. So if you're driving, you'll be very occupied. Let's take another look outside. It's our camera on top of the Cordell Complex in downtown Joplin. The clouds are clearing out. We have got ourselves a beautiful day out there, albeit on the breezy side. MoDOT camera 20th and range line. Again, it's still been bobbing up and down in the wind out there. Quick reminder, red flag warnings until 9 o'clock. So absolutely no outdoor burning in this area where the fire danger is from very high to extreme. Wind advisories ranging from 5 o'clock this evening until 6 this evening out there, as winds will be gusting upwards of 40 to 45 miles an hour. And even if you're not under an advisory or a red flag warning, winds will be gusting high from the southwest across the area. So really no outdoor burning. And if you're driving a vehicle today, especially a high profile vehicle, one susceptible to wind, make sure you are hanging on to that wheel, as it will be gusty all through the day today and into the evening hours. A brief break for some of us by tomorrow morning, and then those winds will pick back up again, gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour. We'll have another look at your forecast, plus the news you need to know right after this.
Welcome Afghanistan for his service. We're proud to salute Eric Westerhold, a four-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Authorities in Carthage say a worker at a food plant died Tuesday in an industrial accident. Around 3:45 Tuesday, police received reports of a worker entrapped in a machine at the Schreiber Foods plant on Claxton Avenue. When they arrived, they found the male worker unconscious and not responsive. They called for a Metaflight, but before it got there, they declared the worker dead. Authorities are now investigating the incident as an industrial accident. And law enforcement agencies in our area have seen a decline in officer retention. The Newton County Sheriff's Office says 36 employees have left the departments since 2018. Only 6 of those stayed in law enforcement, and the Carl Junction Police Department has reported similar struggles in staffing. Both departments say a lack of pay and/or benefits is to blame for the loss in personnel, and they're not alone. Law enforcement is dealing with a shortage of employees nationwide. Out with the old and in with the new. The city of Joplin is replacing the non-native Callery pear trees along Main Street as a part of a beautification project. This project is funded by the citizen-approved proposition use tax and the associated beautification initiative efforts. City officials predict the project will take 6 to 8 weeks. They want to plant lower maintenance and more environmentally friendly trees.
All right, we've got those gusty southwest winds pushing 40-45 miles an hour. Sunny skies today, temperatures well above normal, upper 60s pushing near 70. We'll stay breezy and clear through the evening and overnight. Lows, again, well above average into the mid-40s out there. As we head into our Friday, a few stray showers possible, still breezy, upper 60s, cooling down this weekend back to normal. Sunday and Monday, showers Sunday could translate into snow showers Monday morning. No accumulations expected, but could lead to a few slick spots. Whatever we get, though, doesn't last long. We're back to sunny skies and in the 50s by next Tuesday and Wednesday.
And a sailor returning from a Navy deployment recently surprised his younger sister at her Michigan school after nearly a year apart.
A heartwarming reunion between the siblings was captured by Bedford Public Schools on Tuesday. The brother, Armin Huerta, was home on leave after 9 months of serving on an aircraft carrier.
The sister, who is in 8th grade at a junior high school in Temperance, Michigan, had no clue that this was not going to be just another day in her American culture class. Bedford Public Schools said in the video's Facebook post, in the video, that the siblings can be seen hugging while other students clapped.
Certainly. I love those videos.
They
like
get me
that.
every time.
Every single time. No matter how many of them you watch, they get you right here. Very special.
Goosebumps. I love that.
Well, thank you all so much for letting us put the good in your morning.
And we'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.